Learn how to take advantage of short-term price movements with this simple crypto day trading strategy. Hey guys, James here, and in this video, I'll show you a fairly simple day trading strategy for cryptocurrency. We'll look at how to set up your charts and indicators to best execute this strategy. Plus, I'll teach you step by step the process that I would go through. This is what's called a scalping strategy. So we'll be using charts and also short-term price swings in Bitcoin to our advantage. I'll split this video into sections and link them in the description box for you. I'll also put some other very helpful videos and resources in there for you, so make sure to take advantage of those. Check out the description box, it'll all be in there for you. Let's come to the strategy then right away, and I'm going to be using Binance for this one. I use Binance because of a couple of reasons. Firstly, because of the very low fees. And also they have the most liquidity out of any crypto trading platform. So those two things alone make it absolutely, for me, number one choice. If you haven't got a Binance account yet, I'll leave the link in the description. You can go ahead and sign up within 5 minutes, and then you can follow along with this tutorial. I'll also leave my Binance tutorial in the description, which goes through how to set up and get started. But I'm going to come straight to the advanced trading view, and then we can get through to the assumptions about this trading strategy. Firstly, with the day trading strategy, this would be your gambling money, something that you really are okay losing, because sometimes you do lose when day trading. You should definitely do your own research and really understand this strategy in particular and any strategy that you're using before you actually go ahead and trade for real. So you can do this maybe on paper and see how it works out for a few weeks before actually diving in. This can't be financial advice, but you can see here right now what I have on Binance. I have Bitcoin against US dollar tether. That is the market that we're going to be trading. And the first thing that we want to do before anything else, before we get into the trading strategy, is to first find the trend, both macro and micro. What I mean by that is, what is the long-term trend of this cryptocurrency, and also the micro term. So we're looking at maybe even a period of 12 months, 3 months, 1 month, 1 week, and then we'll be getting into the 1 day. So what I can do is just take off all of these technicals right here, and we can start with a clean slate. I can then go and click on these technicals, just press delete, and we can get rid of absolutely everything. Now we have the Bitcoin against US dollar charts in a candlestick, and we're using a 1 day candlestick right now. We have the volume of this trading pair down at the bottom here. What I want to do now is just zoom out and really just see, well, what is the long-term trend? And it's pretty obvious, obviously. Bitcoin is in a huge uptrend. But there are many, many different trading opportunities and strategies. We can see here that actually Bitcoin was in a really big downtrend here. What we would really call a sell-off, or just a pause for breath before another massive upsurge in the uptrend. The reason why we look at previous periods is because we try and understand what the chart may do in the future. They can't predict that entirely, but we can see a major sell-off here, another run up, then a major sell-off here and another run up. And it looks like it's going to be repeated again with another sell-off to the downside, and then maybe a move up as well. But you can actually see that the upward trend in Bitcoin is slowing down a little bit. You had the massive uptrend here and a powerful sell-off, but then the upward move came again, and it was very strong also. After this sell-off though, I would suggest that the upward move this time on this upward move hasn't been as strong as these previous 2 times. This is really important to know and get your head around, because obviously this will impact how we trade, how we go about trades, and how we look at the amount of risk that we want to take when we are executing our trading strategy. I would suggest that you do this every single time that you trade, whether you trade daily or weekly or whatever it is, just to have a look at the longer term trend and really just say to yourself, what has happened before? What period of the market are we in? And I also keep up to date with news, stock market news and other economic news, because that will all affect the price of any asset that you're trading. So now that we've done all that and we have that information, we can get onto the actual strategy itself. And what I'm going to do here is just make the chart larger so we can get a good overview of exactly what we're doing right now. We're going to be using what's called a scalping strategy. Now, scalping refers to taking very small profits or losses on a regular basis throughout the day. When using a scalping strategy, you may be able to open and close multiple trades throughout the day, even actually up to 50 or 60 if you're a professional trader and that's what you're doing. A lot of pro traders, and what I mean by that is hedge funds actually may use bots to scalp prices as well and take advantage of very short-term price movements. There are also some bots that retail customers can use. KuCoin is an exchange that does have a trading bot, and I'll leave a KuCoin tutorial in the description for you if you want to go and learn about that. Also, I'll just pop the KuCoin link in the description. You can go and sign up for a KuCoin account in a couple of minutes and just see how that trading bot is. However, I do think it's vital for you to know how scalping actually works in person, and then we can look how the strategy works overall. So the downside of a scalping strategy for beginners is that they typically take a lot more time and effort as compared to some other types of strategy. You really do have to watch for the correct price actions and really time everything well. The upside for me though is that with scalping, you have a lot of potential trading opportunities and your exposure to risk is actually less because you're talking about very small price movements, and so your downside risk can be mitigated very easily. That also goes for the upside as well. So you can actually win and lose quickly and then just move on to the next trade, which means as a beginner, you're going to be learning a lot. With scalping, we want to move in and out very quickly in anywhere from 1 minute to 30-minute time frame. So let's go ahead here and we're going to be trading today, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So firstly, we want to come on to putting some technical analysis on the chart, and we're going to put the moving averages on here, and we're going to put a moving average of a 5-day, an 8-day, and a 13-day onto the chart. The way that we go ahead and add some technical analysis is we come up to here to the technical indicators on Binance. Now, if you're using a different platform, there is going to be this icon somewhere. You can see that we're actually using TradingView. TradingView is a separate piece of software that you have to pay for. If you have Binance, it's free. So let's come up to technical indicators. I'm just going to put MA in here very simply and click moving average. Now, you can see it's already popped up here. So I'm just going to press that 2 more times to get 3 moving averages onto the chart, and then we can change this. Moving averages are the simplest, easiest thing to use when it comes to technicals. So that's why I think this particular strategy is great for beginners. Scalping strategies can use many different technical indicators. We can get the MACD down here. We can get scholastics down here. We can get RSI down here. These are a little bit more advanced and certainly require, I would say, an intermediate level knowledge, at least to know what they are. But for absolute beginners, this is a really great strategy. So we can come up to the first moving average and we're just going to change this. We're going to make the line a lot bigger, and then we're going to change this to a 5-day moving average. So the length right here is 5 like this. We're going to press OK. Then on the next moving average, we're just going to change it again. We're now going to change this to an 8-day moving average, and then we'll just change the style. So we'll make the line a lot bigger. We'll probably put that in green just to differentiate it a little bit, and we've got that there. After the 8-day, we can come to the third moving average, and we're going to make the line bigger once more. Just change the color. Why don't we go for this nice blue to make it differentiated, and then the input, we're going to choose 13 days, press OK. Now what we have on the chart is 3 moving averages, the 5-day, the 8-day, and the 13. A moving average just smooths out the price action of the chart. We're going to use these in conjunction with each other. Now, obviously the 5-day moving average is going to more closely represent the actual chart as compared to the 13. The 13-day moving average will be slightly longer term and so be smoothed out a little bit more. None of these are long-term moving averages though. They are really short-term because this is a scalping short-term strategy. Next, we have to come to the time scale of this chart. Right now, we're looking at a 1-day chart, and that is just not going to work for our strategy. We're really trading on intraday price movements, maybe even order-based price movements. So we really need a very short time scale. The way we can do that on Binance is to come up here and choose this. Now, different people have different opinions and different preferences on the time scale that they may want. When I'm investing and just buying for my long-term portfolio, I never look at anything under about 15 minutes, maybe even I'll use the 8-hour. When you're scalping, you have to use a very short time frame. Some people even look at the 1 minute or even the 2 minute. We have options of 1, 3, and 5 here. I'm going to use the 5 minute because it is a personal preference for sure. Try it out yourself. Maybe you prefer 3 minutes or 1 minute. But certainly I would say 5 minutes is on the top end here. You don't want to be going longer than that because we really are trading the really short-term price movements in the cryptocurrency. So what I'm going to do now is zoom in. We can come down here and just press zoom. And now we have the chart in front of us. And this is a live chart. So what I'm going to do is go backwards and show you some of the areas that this strategy will tell us to get in. And we'll see how many times it's correct. Coincidentally, just as I'm making this video, you can see a huge move to the upside. A buyer has obviously come in, and this would definitely be a buying signal in this strategy. Essentially, what we want to do is wait for a period in time where all of these three moving averages converge together. They align up into the same sort of movement, obviously upwards if we're a buyer, and then that is our signal that we can go in and enter into a buy trade. If you're a complete beginner, I would suggest just limiting your orders to buy orders. Of course, there are ways that you can actually sell as well and short the cryptocurrency. There are ways to do that. You can maybe use futures and leverage, but that's definitely for intermediate and advanced users. So if you're a beginner, I would suggest just being a buyer. So waiting for the price to come down and then correct itself, waiting for all of these moving averages to converge together to an upward move, and then buying, going long, and then looking to take profits when the price is higher. The reason I say this is because if you look at this chart, there are many opportunities for advanced traders to make lots of money betting against the price movement and going short. You can see this move here is a down move and this move here is a down move. And you could make money by buying back at a lower price. But let's come right into the chart and I'll show you these moves as we can see. So we can see the three moving averages right here. And because we are a buyer, what we're doing is waiting for the price of Bitcoin to come off to a lower level, to then consolidate at this level, as you can see happening here, and then to move higher. Now, this is the area that we would trade. So I'm just going to put an arrow on right here so we can see this is exactly when we would enter our trade. Now, you can see these three different moving averages, the 5, the 8, and the 13 are all converging and aligning into this upward move right here. Now, the moving average we want to place most emphasis on is the 5-day moving average, this dark blue one here, because this is the one that follows the chart most closely. If that moving average moves from below the other two and crosses over them going upwards, that is a bullish sign for the price. As a buyer, that's what we're trying to do, buy low and sell high in this instance. So as this moves across the other two moving averages, this is our buy signal. We therefore want to enter a trade at around this price. We can see on the chart that this price is around 53,458. We want to enter in at this level, and then we also very importantly hit a stop loss in there as well. A stop loss is a secondary limit order that tells the system to sell out of the position if the position starts moving against you. So I would personally put a stop loss in around this level right here. So let's draw another one on the chart. This is where I would have a stop loss. You can see that the price tested this level many times. So I would put a stop loss in around about this level. And if the price got down there and this indicator was wrong, I'm out of the trade, cut my losses, move on to the next one. We can see though, as it actually played out, that this indicator that we're using did actually play out positively for us. So we would have got in around this level. And then you can see the movement to the upside right here. We did very, very well. Now, when exactly do you trade out of your position? Well, actually, this move right here is around about a 1.8 or 2% move. Now, for an intraday trade, that is really great. If you opened a $10,000 order right here and then sold for a 2% profit, that's $200 and you're done for the day. You can close your laptop and go and have a nice drink. That doesn't always work out though. So how do we actually systematically go about this? There are two main different ways. The first one is to look for an amount of profit, maybe 0.5% or 1% move to the upside, and say that on average, that would be a good profit for you. When it does hit that, you enter a limit order to sell there, and that's done. The second way to do it on a trading system is to use a trailing stop loss. That means that when the price moves up, your stop loss level will also move up. So if we set a stop loss down here at around 0.5% below our entry point, when the price moved up, the stop loss would also move up and keep a 0.5% distance from the actual price. What would have happened is that it would have moved up and up and up right here. When the price starts moving down, the stop loss doesn't move down. It just stays at the highest possible level. And then that means we probably would have been stopped out at around this level right here. You can see intra time period, the price fell all the way down to this level. So we probably would have been stopped up out at this level and we would have made probably about 1.5% profit. Of course, once the price moves up to around this level, you're then in a winning position. It's impossible to lose because if the price does move down from here, you have that trailing stop loss, which is above your entry point. This is a live Bitcoin chart, and I definitely would have gone into a trade right here using this strategy. This is actually a very good example of a winner, but there must be some losers as well, of course. So let's have a look at those. There are a couple of instances that you may have entered a trade using this strategy. Right here is one, you can see the blue line moving across in a bullish format right here. And actually using this strategy, you probably would have won yet again and tried to sell up here with a stop loss. I would suggest that you may have made a very small profit or even just broken even on that trade. Moving back, we can see a possible entry point here. I wouldn't have gone on this trade because it wasn't a very bullish move. But if you were impatient and trying to get in, you may have gone in this level, and then definitely it wouldn't have moved up at all. And that would have moved against you, and you would have made that 0.5% loss if you'd have your stop loss in place. Bitcoin is having a slight sell-off overall and a reversion back to, I think, the 50-day moving average. So it's definitely in a little bit of a downtrend over the short term this week. That doesn't really matter too much for us though, because we're not actually interested in that. We really are trading on ultra short-term price movements intraday, based essentially off large orders coming in, moving the price around. I would say that you would need at least $5,000 to go and execute this strategy because you need some buffer, of course. And I would hope to be making about 1.5% per trade. And if you're trading a $10,000 trade and you make 1 or 2% profit, you can make $100 to $200 off your trades. Patience really is key, and everything, definitely timing is very key for this. You really need to wait for these indicators to switch up into that trend altogether, and the short-term 5-day moving very heavily to the upside if you want this strategy to work. Patience is key, and not trading is also better than entering into a bad trade just because you're anxious to get into it. Scalping definitely gives you a lot of trading opportunities for sure. The rewards are fairly limited overall though, with 1-2%. And you will have to be trading in and out every single day to make serious money with this one. If you want to try this strategy out though and see how it works, I'll leave the link to Binance in the description. You can also check out that KuCoin trading bot. I'll leave the KuCoin link in the description as well. Let me know what you think of this very simple scalping strategy for beginners in the comments. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.